All right, Lockie. All right, Lockie. Stop sniffing that dragon. Let's go.
It's good to see you again and great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
It's
much.
magical.
Thank
It's
you so
special.
much.
When you were cast, who did you tell first?
I went downstairs and I told my mum and my dad and my younger brother, who was very excited because he's 11 and so he was like bouncing off the walls on my behalf.
That's cool. And who did you tell first?
I told everybody. No, I went downstairs. I didn't know what to do. Like, I was freaking out. I was pacing back and forth because I knew I couldn't tell anybody. But I texted my friend, and I just sent a picture of Hiccup and me. I said, spot the difference. And I didn't even tell him I was
That's a
auditioning.
cute way.
That's
That's
awesome,
a good
actually.
way
Yeah,
of
and then he
telling.
just replied. He was like, no way. It was really
cute.
sick. But yeah.
That is magical, is what it is. Did you go back and watch any of the previous films, like for inspiration, or did you make it your own? Or I'm sure you've been asked, but I want to know.
We actually haven't really been asked that.
Well, then I'm the first one.
There you go.
Go, Dave.
Well done, Dave.
But tell me, did you or
Me and Mason actually both. So I think while we were filming, not to speak for you, but me personally, I didn't want to really look too much into it because I do think that, America and Jay are doing such brilliant versions of these characters and like they are the OG, and so I think there is something about it where you don't want to get too seeped into it because otherwise you start just doing an impersonation and it kind of stops being your own thing. However, pre us filming, like a couple months before we even filmed anything, me and Mason watched all 3 movies but back to front. So we were like, we watched the third one and we were like, we should watch the second one. I love the second one. Watch the second one. And then we were like,
no, we should watch the first one.
so we watched all of them in the wrong order. And then I remember us watching, I don't know, but I remember us watching the first one at the end and we both kind of sat in silence afterwards being like, oh my God, we have to do this. And that was kind of very scary.
you realize people are going to watch this now and go, oh, that's a great idea. Like, people will do that because I'm thinking myself, I think I want to try that too.
was a good way of
I've done
doing
the
it.
interviews for those. Your director, I said,
really?
yeah, we met at the
Oh,
animated
sweet.
one. Okay,
Wow.
you can't say toothless, but if you had a dragon, what would you name it?
Destroyer of Worlds.
Okay. No, it's sounds video game-ish. I like it though.
Yep.
It's good. And
Yep.
you, what would you name it? Thank you. I like
Why are
this.
you already laughing?
I love this. This is great.
You don't even know.
I was laughing at what I said.
Destroyer of worlds.
Yeah, like he's already evil.
because he was gonna
He's
say
already evil.
toothless. Because he was gonna say toothless, destroyer of worlds. Okay.
I can't.
Pickles.
Why did I say that?
What is it?
Pickles.
Okay.
Destroyer of Worlds
and pickles. Because pickles, I think, is
is great.
universally a really good name.
I like.
I do like that.
My
And they go
sister's name
good
is
together.
Pickles. That's what my dad calls my sister.
Really?
Pickles.
I'm gonna start calling Brooke Pickles.
Don't do that.
Great. And I'm going to say pickles all day now too.
There you go.
Now, knowing what you know now, being a part of this movie, if you saw a dragon, we're pretending, walking down the street, would you run to it or would you run away from it?
Run to it. Oh my
Run
God.
to
are
it.
you
Yeah, I
kidding?
want to drag. Oh my God, that's all she said.
The
She
entire
loves a
time we were
dragon.
filming, I would literally, me and Mason would be sat in silence, and I would just go like, ugh, I want a dragon. And it would just all the time. So run to it.
Yeah,
And
you
have
would
to
say
run
it all
to
the time, and it got to a point where it was like, okay, Nico, you know they aren't real.
Shut up.
I mean, yes, they
Stop
are.
crying.
Yeah.
That's why we're
like
pretending.
Santa.
Because I'm just going to tell you, opposite of what you all said, if I saw a dragon, I would run away from it.
Would you
No,
really?
I know. I've seen the movie and I love,
Yeah.
but I would just,
Even if it looked like Toothless.
well, I'd
Toothless
go,
is like
hey,
a
what's
big
up? And
puppy.
kind of, yeah, I'm like,
You go, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up?
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Thank
and
you so
great
much.
job.
Nice
Be proud.
to meet
It's
you.
awesome.
Thank you
Good to
very
see you.
much.
All right,
Good
take
seeing
care.
you
Bye-bye.
again, man.
First for me, we talked the animated versions, and now we're talking live action. As far as, because you were involved with those as well, but is a mindset when you're in person, like the voice acting, the real acting, and this is real now?
Night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day. Voice acting, I love.
Yeah.
I'm in a studio, had a lot of fun working with Dean, but this is a complete transformation. I'm stepping into another world. The costumes were incredible. Took hours to get on that and the makeup. So by the time it felt like a full metamorphosis by the time I stepped on. I felt like stoic, and I stepped into this world of Burke, and I think you see that in the movie. I think the movie feels more present, more immediate, more visceral, because you're really experiencing that, not just the voice in a drawing.
Right.
And even though I loved the animation, but it was drawings, now you're looking into the eyes of these characters, and I think that their struggles are much more, there's much more color and nuance in them. So you definitely, as the movie going, get more and more sucked into this world.
Is speaking of the costume, is it heavy? It looks heavy.
That costume was, yeah, that was a struggle. That was about, with the axe and shield, 90 pounds. It was about 75 without that, because, and the helmet, and I had to wear that all day long. And that's what I talk about, that metamorphosis, because when you are wearing that most of the day, you start to, and you're living the life of Stoic more than you're living the life of Jerry Butler, because then you just go home and go to bed. You sit in the house going, how am I going to do this tomorrow? No joke. How am I going to do this tomorrow? But you are just, that costume.
But it looks great, man.
It looked amazing, and it felt amazing.
Yeah.
So when I stepped in there, because no other Vikings were like, the costumes were great, but I was twice the size of everybody else. My shoulders were out here, my helmet was out here, and so when I stepped on there, I felt like a leader. I felt like a chieftain. But then I could go in the other direction and play with, the more emotional journey. I had the big stuff covered.
Yeah.
But the journey an audience are going to go on with me and with Hiccup is the internal journey. And I find this movie is, I think everybody does, it's so emotional.
It's very emotional. It's magical.
Yeah.
We're going to end with this. If you had a dragon, because they're real, of course, let's pretend, what would you name your dragon? You can't say toothless.
Okay. Lockie. Lockie, because now, and it's only the Loch Ness Monster, right? I'm from Scotland.
No,
we
I
have the
know,
Loch
yeah.
Ness Monster. I mean, he lives more underwater, but we could give him wings, because I like going underwater, but I would also like to fly around the clouds. But his nickname is Lockie, and I think that'd be, I like that idea, because I could keep my Scottish brogue, All right, Lockie! All right, Lockie! Stop sniffing that dragon shit. Let's go.
Thank you.
I am so fired.
No, you're not. And I'll say thank you, Jerry. See, I just used it since I got promoted. Bro, I love you,
Good
dude.
to see you.
Here we are, How to Train Your Dragon. Yay! Anybody can take this first one. Were any of the dragons divas on the set?
Listen.
Yes.
Toothless is
Yeah,
awful.
toothless. Yeah, because I think it was obviously he knew he was the main dragon.
Yeah.
And I think came with quite an arrogance.
But
yeah.
actually, he was further down than all of us on the call sheet.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know it.
Yes.
But it was, he was like 20.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
20 and yet he was
Yeah.
treated like he was number one. So it was quite
Not okay.
not really okay.
Kept stealing my San Pellegrino.
Yes. I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Shame. I honestly wrote that question, and that went great. I'm done. I'll see you later.
Okay.
Quit while you're ahead. When you all found out your characters' names, because these characters are hilarious, the names, what was your reaction?
Yeah, I grew up with the films and I've seen it, so I knew Fish Legs or Snot Loud or Rough Nut and Tough Nut. I don't. How do you wake up in the morning and go, I am Fish Legs? I don't know.
We did it, man.
Yeah,
Then I did it, and we did
heard
it.
you.
Thank
Wake up
you.
each morning.
In the same apartment that we all lived in. Yeah.
You look in the mirror and you go, good morning, Fish Legs.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
quite great.
good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's funny that, because they're such mad names. There's so much character in them as well. That's like, there's a lot of the like who a person is. Anyway, and then in this it's like times by 10 because that's like it's just like a noise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like Snot Loud's a bit like a grunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take it.
What was your reaction when you were cast? Because these are very well-known movies. Everybody is excited. I'm going to ask that question in a second about the anticipation.
Yeah.
But your reaction when you were cast?
I immediately went to weeping, absolutely wept. And then I have a very in-depth thing that I do to tell my loved ones that I've got something. So when my partner came home, I had the soundtrack blasting through the thingy. She has this
very
little
sweet.
garden ornament that's a dragon, and I just held that aloft.
But you were like a big fan of the
big,
franchise.
massive fan.
Yeah, I love that. Perfect.
Yeah, Bronwyn has a toothless backpack. And we're like, oh, did you get that when you got the job? And she was like, mm-mm.
I've already had it.
Yeah.
I love hearing stories like that because it just makes it real. I mean, you all are real anyway, obviously, but it just makes it even more real, the anticipation. All right, here's the question I was alluding to. We'll start with you.
Okay.
You see the billboards everywhere. I mean, this movie is everywhere. Everybody. I try to go to movies not watching the trailers. I want to go in cold. I was able to avoid it until we saw it last night.
Sure.
But it's everywhere. You're in the movie. All you all are. And
Thank you so much. I was so worried I hadn't made a cut.
and I'm done. You're cast. No, stop it.
Thank God.
This is great. I love this room. When you see and you're a part of it, how does that make you feel?
Yes, it is kind of like it is nuts seeing it. I was hanging with my friend the other day and I saw the big
projector of the full trailer. Like it is kind of nuts. And I go like, wait till right at the end, and then you will see me. I am in it. There we go. But yeah, it does. I think it's such a big world and such a beloved world that it does feel you can't really fully wrap your head around it, especially as it's now especially as it's about to come out. It kind of feels like the buzz is buzzing. It's not a phrase I've said before, but I'm thrilled I said it here. Yeah.
And that's what I do to get it out of you first. Congratulations, you'll be very proud.
Thank you.
It's awesome. The music's great. Your characters are amazing. And you're fun anyway. This was awesome. It's my last stream of the day. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The best one.
Good to see you again.
Thanks,
Dude,
Dave.
you are Gobber. I mean,
Thank you.
This is, how much fun did you have doing this?
Yeah. Look, it's such a lovely big film, and especially when Gobber got to go into his workshop.
Yes.
Dean kind of showed me around before we started shooting. Dean, the director, was like, "Come and see your workshop." You see the effort and the skill involved in creating that, and it makes what I do really easy in terms of just learn the lines and the rest is taken care of.
It's funny you say that because honestly, I'm not making this up. You're the only one I was going to talk to about the sets.
Okay.
And it's great that you brought that up because
Good.
this kind of made me think of, have you ever been to like a Renaissance festival or like those fairs that they have? You've never been?
No, what is that?
Well, they're big, I guess, where I'm from. They're just, you
in England, it's just how England is, like a Renaissance fair all the time.
you eat turkey legs and,
I see what you mean.
that.
Yes, it's huge as well. I think
Right.
the first day I went on set, there were
That's what I'm saying.
500 Vikings, as extras. And it's weird walking on set for the first day, or in the morning you walk onto set and have 500 burly Vikings waving, "Morning, Nick," which is kind of cool.
Costumes. Let's talk costumes too. What did you feel like when you were in full costume?
I think all the actors felt very cold. And I know
Really?
it's very annoying hearing actors talking about how cold it is, but we were in Belfast, it was January, and it was -5 in the day. And the wall bit was nice, but then there's like big open sections where the wind would rush in. So it was that kind of, it feels nice. You feel very taken care of, but as soon as they say cut, people rush like 2 heaters in and you get a big coat on and it makes it difficult to come out of that when they say, "Okay, let's roll, let's turn over," and you're like, "Oh, please don't. Are you going to see the heaters? Can we leave the heaters in?" But it's, when you've got the costume and the leg on and you've got the moustache and it's
awesome as well.
Yeah, thank you.
It's perfect. All right, if you had a dragon,
Yes.
because they're real. I'm just gonna throw it out
sure.
there. Okay. What would you name your dragon? You can't say Toothless.
Rick?
Rick?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Rick.
Did not expect that.
Okay.
Now, knowing what you know now then about dragons,
Yes.
if you saw one walking out, because I established that they're real.
Yes.
They're walking down the street. Would you run to the dragon or would you run away the dragon? Because I would run away, I'll just tell you.
Yeah, I think I'd probably run away. I think it's probably like, in terms of its spirit, I think it's probably like a big cat. So yes, it might be fine for a minute, but I think it can turn on you quite quickly. And that in many cases proves fatal.
First time this has ever happened, we talked the animated films, and now we're here doing the live action. What was the biggest challenge for you, though, to bring the magic, and I know you've probably been asked this, but I want to know, the magic to the live action version?
Well, I think the biggest challenge was making sure we didn't lose the charm and the whimsy while making it grounded. So certainly the actors and shooting in practical sets and backlots and building the world makes it feel so much real, so much more real and textural. But I think for me the biggest learning curve was trusting the actors.
Yeah.
In animation, we manipulate everything. Even the recordings of the actors we can cut up and use, kind of make our favorite take. But in this case, it's like you hand it over to the actors and sort of sit back and watch the magic happen as they sort of shape it.
What do people need to know going into it? Like, should they go back and watch, or just do folks need to go back and freshen up, or?
No, not at all. No. And I meet so many people who have never seen the animated movies.
Okay.
For whatever reason, they pass them by or they don't watch animation. So I think it captures the story of the animated movie and it brings new nuances and explorations of mythology and deeper, richer characters. I think more immersive action. So absolutely, if it's your first time, you're hopefully going to have a great experience. And if you've seen the animated movies in the past, then hopefully it's a nice nostalgic hug from the past.
From the fan perspective, you as the fan, what makes this special? These characters, the story. I want to know, you geeking out as a fan, what makes it special for you?
Well, I think what drew me to it in the first place was just the wish fulfillment of having an animal bond like that. I always wanted a pet. I finally did get to have dogs in my adult life. Like my connection with my dog is so powerful, but imagine if you had a creature of that size that you could fly on the back of. There's just tremendous wish fulfillment, and that travels across cultures and around the world.
I just became a cat person. I'm not going to try to fly on her because I would probably get arrested. Thank you for bringing this to us.
Thank you.
It's
Of course.
special, it's magical, and I absolutely freaking love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Only on the Backstage Experience.